Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO Jurassic World Carnotaurus Dinosaur Chase Set. The set is primarily derived from the Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix, which is an extension to the Jurassic World universe, and it includes 3 figures, one of which doesn't really belong here, a helicopter, which doesn't really need to be here, a very cool truck, and a new version of Carnotaurus. In the show, this Carnotaurus is a named character, or rather a nicknamed character called Toro, and has a specific color scheme that goes with it, and also has a scar that is very specific to things that occur in the show. I will give no spoilers in case there's anybody out there watching who still wants to watch the show. I personally am not even through watching the thing, but I at least have started. And otherwise, it follows the same design. It has the same molds and everything as the previous version that we got, which I'll show you in just a second. But this just changes up some colors and changes the prints. And the darkness in the print is very applicable to this specific character. And again, what goes on in the show. I think it's pretty accurate what they've done here. Has the same articulation as usual with being able to angle it up and down. Has the tiny little, almost vestigial arms there. And the head's able to go up and down as usual, and just has the fully opening mouth, closing. You can kind of get it to stay in between there. You can also rotate this from side to side and do the up and down slightly at the same time to get some inquisitive looks. Comparing Toro to the previous Carnotaurus, I originally really preferred the original when I first saw pictures of Toro here, but this one has grown on me. The new one has grown on me with the darkness of the head, which is dark brown for the top portion and dark brown for much of the printing here, against a brown colored lower half. It's kind of dual molded together compared to having so much of the medium nougat over here. However, I do prefer the old one's eyes that are a little bit more menacing looking, also yellow in color, and I prefer the older tan colored teeth, as well as this pattern, this splotchy pattern, which is pretty nice. But like I said, Toro has definitely grown on me a lot. I like the darkness and the brown coming down into the legs as well. In the show, this truck is one of those Mercedes AMG 6x6s, originally developed for military use and then eventually switched over to production for civilian use. And in the show, it's identical. Like, it's exactly that Mercedes vehicle. They just don't show the branding on it. LEGO has deviated a bit from that, so it doesn't look as exact. I think this doesn't look quite as military-like to me, and is a little bit lower and more sleek. But overall, they captured most of the soul here, and I think that's the most important thing. You got the 6 wheels; they're big. The colors are basically right. The overall layout is right. It makes sense to me. It definitely makes sense. The door is a little bit too low. Well, much too low to me. Personally, but I understand it, and I appreciate the inclusion of openable doors for folks that like those things. Also, you have a tailgate that can be brought down back here. There's no cargo included, and the cargo bay area, the bed here is kind of, well, it's small, right? There's not a whole lot of space to put things in there, but you can put stuff on top of it, I suppose. Speaking of on top, you can remove the entire roof very easily to fit. Oh no! What? Multiple figures in the cabin area? Yes, you can put 2 figures side by side in this and a third in the back. This will hold 3 people inside of it. Thank goodness. Very nice to see. My apologies for putting the steering wheel, I just realized, in the center. It's not supposed to be in the center. It should be offset 1 stud to the left to be a little bit more appropriate. But that's good. The interior space is very good on this. Good use of that interior space. One thing that's not good is color matching. Once again, as usual with the dark red, you can very clearly see the difference there between some of the pieces, and that I will continue to call that out, not because of nitpicking, but because it's not supposed to be like that. Some people try to be apologists for LEGO and be like, oh, it's actually looking better because it's more camouflage and it looks used. No, it's not by intent. If they intended to do that, like Mega Constructs does different colors, and they do like speckling and marbling and things to represent wear and such. If it was intentional, then great. But for people that want to build things that have consistent color, it's not right, and this is not what was intended. So LEGO really needs to work on their dark red, as they have needed to for years and years and years now. I don't know why they can't get that right. The color match for the sticker here is also off, but that doesn't bug me as much because it just kind of fits into a defined area, and it is just a sticker. This helicopter looks very much like Simon Masrani's personal one in its overall design, which LEGO has covered before, they've done before, and I like it. In spite of the fact that I have grown tired long ago of helicopters, relatively generic helicopters from Lego that specifically use that same canopy piece, when you angle the canopy piece back a little bit like this one does, I think it looks much better. I think it looks sleek. I think it looks modern. Modern, not futuristic, but modern. And I'm happy with it. This is a perfectly fine helicopter. Of course, you got the main rotor and the tail rotor. Doesn't use up too many pieces, but it doesn't look too plain. You got the gun on the side. It's like a tranquilizer cannon that uses a sticker on either side, and you fit a single person in the cockpit. It does its job. It's not that relevant to the show. Again, no spoilers, but for what it is, it's a cool toy. Looking at figures on the left is a big winner, number 1,000 of Owen Grady. We just keep getting more and more Owen Grady figures. It's kind of like Steve in Minecraft sets. He doesn't even belong in this set if you look at it as a Camp Cretaceous specific set, but of course he belongs in the Jurassic World universe, which is why they've included him here, because a lot of kids like the Chris Pratt character. So I'm fine with him being here, and I understand why he is, even though he's not related to the show. Really good figure though. Well done. In the center is Sammy, one of the main characters from the show, and I think that figure is pretty darn perfect. The new print for the torso is great. Choice of hair, the facial expression, all that I am good with. And then on the right is Kenji. Hair is fine. Overall color scheme is right. I think the torso could have been made to look a little bit more sleek, a little bit more tight-fitting, but overall it's okay. I do not like those legs though, because that's supposed to represent the wearing of shorts, and you're supposed to be looking at a little bit of skin tone there right in the center, which doesn't go around to the sides. It just looks like some stripes, some random stripes on the front, which does not work at all. Would have been better, I think, to leave that off entirely, honestly. Going around the back, the prints are fine, especially the one in the middle is really good. Alternate face for Owen Grady makes sense. Alternate face, that's definitely always a good one for any Jurassic related thing, as is that. But I think that Kenji's main face perhaps could have had his sunglasses. I think that would have been appropriate. Finally, these are the leftover pieces, and the sticker sheet was simple. Now, I paid $50 US for this, which is its standard retail price. And looking at the truck, the helicopter, and the figure, so ignoring the dinosaur, I personally see a value of about $30 US there, I think, leaving $20 for the Carnotaurus. And unfortunately, honestly, $20 is exactly what I have come to expect from Lego in terms of their retail price valuation of a dinosaur of this size. It's typically, if I add up the value of everything else in another set that has something like this, I'm left with about 20 bucks behind. So the price, I understand it. I understand how they got to this price, and it feels like it's in line with what they normally do. That's not to say I like the price. I don't like the price. I would like to see this at $40 at the most. Yeah, $40 feels pretty good to me. So if you can find this on sale, then I think you'll be in the range. Now, $40 isn't that different from $50, so I don't feel like this is super, super overpriced, honestly, when I evaluate what I'm looking at here. And overall, the design of each thing is pretty good, with the exception of those legs on Kenji. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention earlier. This. There's just a little bit of clacking. There's a little bit of looseness in the joints. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect playability. It doesn't affect the posability of this, which is somewhat limited. It's mostly up and down anyway, but just hopefully that's not an indication of a mold that's wearing out, and we're going to continue to get that. Hopefully I was just really unlucky here with a batch of pieces that didn't come out quite right, because it just doesn't feel quality when you pick up a toy and it does like that. It's not up to Lego's standards, but that's about all I have to say about this one. Let me know what you think about the design of each thing here. Let me know what you prefer between the two versions of Carnotauruses that we've gotten so far, and if you have any thoughts about value. All right, thank you for watching. That's it from me. I'll talk to you again soon.